Everybody that was nice enough to say happy birthday or whatever, and I don't want birthdays now, but it's very nice, and I thank you all very much.
Well, they're thanking you right now, so thank you, Tommy.
What's that?
I said they're thanking you right now. You got Daniel from Kansas City, Missouri saying hello all around the world.
I refereed in Kansas City.
Hey, Daniel, he's refereed in Kansas City, Missouri.
Harley, when I was there one time, Harley Race brought a kid named Tommy Morrison into the ring. He was a boxer, and he was supposedly going to beat Mike Tyson, but then he wound up getting AIDS. So
I remember that.
I don't know what happened to him, but I remember.
Daniel says you're the best referee ever.
Tell Daniel I said I appreciate that, but
you tell Daniel, he's watching you.
All right, well, Daniel, I appreciate everything you're saying. You're a hell of a man, and thank you for remembering, because it's been a long time.
Hello from Greenville, hello from Baltimore. You got fans everywhere right here.
Well, it's hard to believe that I've got fans. I mean, because everybody hated me when I was in the profession. But maybe, I mean, and there are many good referees in the profession now. My friend Charles Robinson is excellent.
Yep.
And the Hebners,
Earl and
David.
Brother, yep.
David doesn't rep anymore, but Earl is still going strong, and I think it's TNA. And he is only a couple years younger than me, and he's still doing it. He is the greatest referee of all time.
So Earl Hebner is the greatest referee.
Earl Hebner.
Behind you.
No, ahead of me. You got to give it to him, because part of that is longevity. And I mean, for God's sake, he started in the late 70s. We're talking almost 40 years ago, and he's still doing it. He had a brain aneurysm. He's had some injuries. And I tell you, you get a snoot full of booze in this guy, and he'll take on Godzilla. Years ago, there was a club in Charlotte called Whispers, and me and the Baron von Raschke, remember him? We had to drag Earl out of there. He was going to beat the hell out of a guy twice his size, and he'd have probably done it. But anyway.
Well, you got fans from Ireland, Seattle,
Ireland. Hi, Ireland.
Ireland. You like
Rory McIlroy.
Yeah,
Rory. And all the guys were over there for the Open.
Yep.
British Open.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Phil Mickelson and Jordan Spieth. And I'm a big fan of Rory McIlroy. So, hi, Ireland. I wish I was there with y'all.
They're liking it right now.
Well, for God's sake. That's really nice.
Open. So you got other people. You got more Rory fans watching.
I think what happens, I think so many of these people, I was up in Detroit, where I'm from, visiting my boys, and this kid comes up to me and says, "Are you Tommy Young?" I said, "You know who I am?" He says, "Yeah." He said, "You're the greatest of them all." But I said, "But I quit 27 years ago. How do you know me?" And it was what I thought he was going to say. McMahon has got that 24-hour, I think, network that you can subscribe
WWE
to.
network.
And it's got all our old tapes. And so people are seeing me that never knew who I was before. And that's really nice, because I've got a following that I've got to get on Facebook. I got to do it.
Yeah, and we're going to get you on the shirt for 2017. You're going to be on the 86 Crockett.
Well, I hope so, but I mean, but I don't have to be. I mean,
you will be. Everybody wants you.
Well, I'm just honored to do it for the Crocketts, because the Crocketts, they ran the wrestling, they ran the baseball. They're a legendary family, and they've given a lot to this community, this area. My original boss, Jimmy, he's down in Dallas, but the rest of the Crockett family is all still living right here. And I was honored to do it for them. I tried to play golf the other day, and boy, I don't really do that much anymore. I don't think Sarge does it either, because Sarge and I played a couple times together, Sarge and Slaughter. And several of the other guys too. Johnny Weaver used to play, Steamboat. I don't know if they still do.
What Chris wants to know, the favorite match that you ever reffed.
You know, that's really tough to say. I would say any match between Ricky Steamboat and Ric Flair.
Yep.
There were so many of them. The one that might stand out the most is the one that we had in the Superdome in Louisiana. That was that particular show. We had all the former champions from the NWA, all the way back to, like, we had Lou Thez, Buddy Rogers, Pat O'Connor, Dorian Terry Funk, Jack Briscoe, Harley Race. All these guys were there. Gene Kiniski. The only guy that wasn't there was a guy named Dick Hutton, and I never met Dick Hutton, and I wanted to meet him. But and during that match, that particular match that night was a 2 out of 3 fall match, and Steamboat retained the title that night, and Terry Funk was doing the commentary along with Jim Ross, who also goes as JR.
Yep.
And they're going to be right over here at the Hilton in another 3 weeks for a fan fest, which I have not been invited to.
Well, we need to change that.
Well, you don't really need to, because I've been to about 4 or 5 of them. So, I mean, the people have seen me over again. If I was going to do anything, probably the best thing to do would be to referee a match.
Right.
I have a friend named Ollie, who's over in the United Kingdom, Great Britain, and he's coming over for that. He came last year. They didn't use me last year either, but I stopped by to say to the guys I was having a real hard time with my hip. I could hardly walk. And anyway, he come up to me, and I said, boy, it's really nice to have a fan from England, you know. And he says, I love the way you rep and all that. And I said, well, do you have your stuff here? He said, yeah, I got it with me. I said, well, shucks, they're going to be taping some matches. Let's see if we can get you one. So I went to Tommy Pritchard, who was running it. He's a great guy, and he'll be at the fest.
Yep, Tom Pritchard.
And he kind of went on a limb, because I didn't know if Ollie could referee. And Tommy didn't know if Ollie could referee. Well, we put him in the ring. I walked into the ring, and the audience were very nice to me. I could barely get in the ring, and said, you know, he's going to substitute for me, and I know that you'll be just as nice to him as you were to me. And boy, they went nuts when I said that.
Nice.
And he did a great job. And he stays in touch with me. I talked to him yesterday. He called me from England yesterday. He'll be here for the fan fest.
I think he contacted us on social and was trying to say.
Yeah, he's out there.
And
anyway, I'm looking. If I'm not scheduled, and I don't think I will be, because they've used me so many times, and they need different faces. But I am going to drop by and see people, because you know we're all getting older. We just lost a guy named Danny Miller, who was a great guy, and I loved him to death. And he passed away, had some cancer, I think, of the esophagus. And am I supposed to be looking at you?
No, you're doing fine. Just do what you're doing.
All right, but anyway, just yapping away. I can yap all night.
They're loving it. We're eating up,
well,
man.
I'm watching. You got Pittsburgh fans. You got Richard, who just asked.
Pittsburgh fan, Mario Lemieux. Mario.
Mario Lemieux. You got
Stanley Cup champions.
Who would win, Nick Patrick or you?
What now?
Nick Patrick or you?
What about Nick Patrick?
Who would win?
In a fight?
Yeah.
Nick would.
Nick would?
Oh, Nick would tear my ass up. Oh. Maybe I shouldn't have.
Cuss all you want.
I mean, I did ref for a little ref. I actually broke in as a wrestler.
Yep.
And boy, I gave that up. They beat me to death. And Danny, getting back to Danny, he did my second match. He worked with me. That's what we say. We work with each other. In Akron, Ohio, it was my second match. And Danny made me look so good. He could have squashed me like some guys would have done. Some guys would rough up the new guys, you know. Basically,
rookie hazing,
dues paying type of thing. I mean, but it really wasn't necessary. And some guys would do that, others would not. But Danny always took good care of me. And then he beat me with a suplex, where I just had him in headlock, and he dropped me back on my shoulders, not my head. And anyway, and if you'd like to see what happened to me and why I had to leave, let me turn around and show you. There you go. See it?
Oh wow.
Did you get a shot of it?
Oh yeah, and that started your referee days.
That's what knocked me out of it. It was a fella named Tommy Rich that did it. He didn't mean to do it, and but it goodbye career. I was only 42. I could have done it at least another 15 years. I don't know how much money I lost in wages because I only got a real small settlement. But you know, life moves on. I had 15 great years, and by the grace of God, I appreciate that. And it's nice to be here. Well, we might be okay with the weather.
Yeah, I think the weather's clearing up.
They're about to take the tarp off right now.
Yeah, they're taking the tarp off the field, Tommy. So we're going to have a home run challenge with
guys, don't get rolled up in that.
Again in a second.
I've seen guys get rolled up in the tarp.
Yep, that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah, so look, David from Iowa says that you are the best ref, period.
Dave's from where?
Dave's from Iowa, says you're the best ref ever.
Iowa. Chris, what's it, Chris Taylor? He was a big giant kid. He was actually from Dowagiac, Michigan, but Iowa is a great wrestling state. I mean, that's where so many of your great wrestlers came from. So I'm not sure if I ever actually repped on Iowa. I'm not sure. I don't think I repped there. I repped around there, you know, Chicago and St. Louis, Indianapolis, but I don't think I ever actually worked in Iowa. Okay. But anyway, thanks for remembering.
You got fans in there.
Huh?
I said you got fans in Iowa.
Well, I love them
everywhere.
I love them. I appreciate everybody being so nice. It's just, you don't expect it after all these years. And after all, I'm a referee. I'm not a wrestler. So the spotlight wasn't on me. And but I was there so much. I had so much TV time. And I really don't feel that TV does really not a star or a celebrity make. But yet people see you on TV, they just think you're a celebrity. I'm no celebrity, and I can't even sign an autograph that I'm not ashamed of. Like Ric Flair, his penmanship is incredible. If I could sign an autograph like him, but I can't. I'm a nervous type of individual, and I just can't do that. So and of course when I have to sign the autographs at the Fan Fest, that's tedious. I'd rather just get in the ring and ref.
Yeah, well, everybody, I mean, since I last told you, Tommy Young, the best ref ever. You made wrestling best referee I've ever seen. So.
It's nice that people even recognize refereeing. I think I helped with that because I kind of brought more theatrics into it. The bottom line is you're trying to entertain the people. You know, whether it's coming in here into the ballpark. Here we go, right on, guys.
Yeah, we're getting good. So before we shoot this promo, one last question. I'm going to get to George's question.
I'll answer him as long as you want.
Your favorite wrestler of all time, old or new?
Come on, there's only one guy that it could be.
Does he look like this?
His name, yeah, well, he's with that group. Yeah, Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the king. Nobody can touch Ric Flair. Not Hulk Hogan, not Steve Austin, not John Cena. The only guy that really compares to me is Steamboat. And I don't want to belittle these other guys. These are all great athletes. Cena is a hell of a kid. I met him once. Steve Austin and I've never had a chance to rep him, but we're old friends. And but to me, Ric Flair is the king. He carried wrestling all through the 80s. And how many times has he been the champion? 16, 17, 155? I don't know. I mean, it's unreal. And I'm not close to him like I was because he doesn't live in Charlotte anymore. I think he's in Atlanta now.
Is he in Atlanta? Okay.
But he's the greatest. And Steamboat right with him. Those two, thank God that they came along at about the same time. And thank God that I was there, that I had the privilege of reffing them, because it was always such an honor. And I mean, it was never a short match. They always went 30, 35, 40 minutes. You got your money's worth. Flair would hit you with that chop and boy, light the sky up.
Everybody would feel it in the arena.
And when we were at the Memorial Stadium, another close friend of mine, who is a legend here, the big guy, Harold Johnson, who used to do the sports.
Yeah, Channel 9 News.
Harold's still living in Statesville, where he lives. He used to commute every day from Statesville. He's got a radio show. I stay in touch with him. But anyway, he was always very respectful to us, to our profession. And one night, Flair was going to wrestle Nikita Koloff, who's a great guy. And they were coming in on the Channel 9 chopper, the helicopter. And it was a beautiful night, and I was in the ring, Nikita was in the ring, and here comes that helicopter coming in with Harold and Rick. I never saw that before, and I've never seen it since.
Yep.
But that was really something special.
What year was that? Do you remember
I believe that was 1985.
Okay.
I believe. I'm not certain. It was somewhere in the mid-'80s.
Okay.
Dusty Rhodes.
So at the time when wrestling was wrestling.
Well, I don't know that you could really call it wrestling. I mean, to a degree it was.
Yeah.
And all these guys could wrestle, but you pretty much give the people what they want. They wanted a lot of blood and guts. They loved it when I got run into a ring post or something. And every once in a while that would happen. And I've been thrown over the top of cages. That happened in St. Petersburg, Florida. And I thought, how the hell am I going to do that and still be alive? And it was Big John Studd that did it, and he told me, don't worry, Tommy, I'll just pick you up and set you up there, and then you can just let yourself go. You know, but still it was a long way to the floor. And I like to bounce, but I got through it. I had 15 great years, very grateful. Grateful to be here with so many nice people. A lot of people. What's that?
I'm listening. I'm just getting the back of your shirt for everybody watching.
And some of these people in the stands are thinking, why are they interviewing that old man? Because most of these people don't know who I am, and I don't blame them.
Hey, well, we're boosting up your publicity level.
Well, you are
everybody's looking.
Well, you are the fine one, brother. But it's an honor to be here because there are a number of other celebrities here, and how you got stuck with me, I'll never know.
Well, no,
Sergeant Slaughter is here.
We appreciate it.
Greatly privileged.
And I refereed him many a time.
Let's shoot a promo for the Crockett Foundation.
All right, what now?
Let's shoot a promo for the Crockett Foundation.
Okay, what do you want to do? CrockettFoundation.com. You can get all the gear that you need. Old-time stuff, doesn't matter what it is. It's for a good cause. I give to it 3 times a year. I just gave them a check when I walked in today. They're not paying me. I gave them a check. And it's for former military guys that came back and have difficulty with the situation that they have, whether it's a brain injury or whatever, I don't know. I have 2 brothers that served 5 years in the Navy. I never served, so I'm especially grateful. They were getting ready to draft me for the Vietnam War, and then my father passed away, and I wound up being sole support to the 2 twin brothers that I was just talking about, because they're 7 years younger than me. So I never served my country. So in any way that I can do something for the military, because I give not only to the Crockett Foundation, I give to paralyzed vets, because I was almost paralyzed, and actually was for about 2-3 minutes. And I also give to disabled American veterans, the Disabled Veterans National Foundation. So they're very high on my list. How's that, guys? Is that a good promo?
Perfect.
My pleasure. It is my
Tommy,
pleasure.
you want to say goodbye to your fans for right now on Facebook?
I don't want to say goodbye. I just want to say so long. I really appreciate everybody saying that. I mean, y'all don't have to do that, and you're making me feel really good, and this old man needs that. So I want to thank you very much for that. To everybody that's nice enough to say the things that they do, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I love y'all.
Wow. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Okay.